In this talk, I want to give you some reasons to defend Social Security and the idea of a common future. I'd like to begin by describing two visions of America built on two different sets of ideas and values. The first view is built on the ideas and values of every person for themselves. Greed is good, survival of the fittest. The second view is built on different values and different ideas. Solidarity, community. The idea that without eliminating poverty, I cannot be truly wealthy, no matter how rich I am. The notion that individual achievement is brightest amidst general success. Social Security is a program and a promise that comes out of the second vision. It is built on a social contract amongst ourselves, that in America, if you work hard during your life, you can retire with dignity. That in America, if you're a young parent and die or have a disability, your children need not be poor nor lack an education. We should challenge our opponents to stand for these ideas. Social Security is both a retirement system and an insurance system. It allows us as a people to equalize a bit of the randomness and chance in life. And it works. According to the census data, without Social Security in 2008, 20 million more Americans would be poor, including more than 1 million children. Without Social Security, 45% of the elderly would have incomes below the poverty line. With Social Security, only about 10% are poor. In Illinois, the rate of poverty among the elderly drops from 44% without Social Security to 8% with Social Security. Some opponents of Social Security are quick to point out that if we did not have this government-sponsored savings plan, some people would probably save more in private savings, and some of the drop in poverty would be reduced. And I think there's a modest bit of truth in that. But we all know the pressures to spend, and there's randomness, good fortune and bad fortune in life. And without Social Security, a lot of that drop would not be made up. But it is made up. And older people in the United States have their dignity. Now, some of the people who would dismantle Social Security, privatize Social Security, otherwise end Social Security, argue that yes, it does do these things, but we can't afford it. Now, this is an odd comment for the richest country in world economic history, and it's also wrong. Let me give you some reasons why. According to the latest Social Security trustee report, we could, with a 1% increase in employee taxes and a 1% increase in employer contributions, make the Social Security funds solvent for 75 years. We could accomplish the same thing, more or less, with a 0.07% annual increase in Social Security contributions from 2020 to 2040. However, we needn't do either, really. The taxes on most working people would not have to rise in order to finance Social Security if we just basically had everyone pay the same tax, including the people who make more than $106,000. Now, let me explain that, because some of you may not be aware of the fact that if you make more than $106,000, you stop paying Social Security tax. Those of us who make less than that, and I would surmise that's almost everyone in this room, but perhaps not everyone, pay 6.4% of our earnings, and our employer contributes 6.4% of their money to our retirement. This stops at $106,000. Now, it used to be, when wage dispersal in the United States was smaller, that left only 10% of income out of the Social Security pool. But over the last 30 years, inequality has increased dramatically in the United States, and now 16% of total income is excluded from Social Security taxes. It seems fair enough that richer Americans should pay at least the same rate as everybody else. And if we did that, we could fund the system. I'd like to end with a saying from a Jewish scholar and sage named Hillel. He said the following: "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? If not now, then when?" The time is now. We have important issues to support and close elections to win. I'd like to turn the podium over to Mike Kroll, our next speaker, a small businessman in Galesburg. We'll talk about taxes. Thanks.